My name is Dr. Michael Cummings. I'm chairman of the Department of Health Behavior over at Roswell Park Cancer Institute, where I've worked for 30 years. We've heard the effects of tobacco. We know it well there. A third of all cancers are caused by smoking. And I'm here to tell you that Roswell Park fully supports Damone Smith's effort here to curb the advertising of tobacco products in the city of Buffalo. The Responsible Tobacco Retailing Act really just sets down fairly and appropriately a set of parameters for the sale and marketing of tobacco products in retail establishments in Buffalo. This is necessary because nobody has established the standards. They're really set by the tobacco industry, not by governments, where they should be set. So what we see, of course, as you walk down the street, as Damone has already indicated, is just about every retailer is got their stores plastered with tobacco ads all over, where young people see them. A federal court has found that tobacco companies have acted in a reckless and irresponsible manner in the way they market tobacco products. Department of Justice ruling was just upheld this week by the Supreme Court. That ruling stands, and the findings in that set of that particular court case, the Department of Justice court case, is worth looking at because it details the irresponsible way that tobacco companies have sold and marketed tobacco products. Now recently, about a year ago, with the FDA law signed into law, they've given the FDA authority to regulate tobacco product marketing and manufacturing. And part of that law gives local communities, finally, the authority to regulate tobacco products and define the standards. And that's exactly what this particular proposed law would do. The law will cap the number of businesses selling tobacco products at existing levels, allows for a gradual decline over time as there's attrition with the licensed outlets. The law also clearly defines responsible retailing of the product by prohibiting any brand new tobacco sales outlets near schools or playgrounds or inappropriate locations like drugstores, which, in the back of the store, the life-saving drugs are sold behind the counter where you get advice from a pharmacist, but in the front of the store, it's plastered with cigarette advertising. It's really crazy. Most private pharmacies have gotten out of the business of selling tobacco because it's inconsistent with their mission. You have tobacco products that are sold at bargain basement prices with buy one, get one free promotions, which is a great way for kids to get into tobacco and share it with their friends to introduce them to nicotine addiction. You've got kid-friendly kinds of product with flavors. Now you've got cigarettes made with regular and menthol. All you got to do is click the filter. This is what cigarette companies define as responsible marketing. Making tobacco product advertising less alluring to kids makes sense. Ensuring that both kids and adults are educated with the requirement of a point of sale, basically advertisement there that will talk about the real effects of tobacco and give people advice as to where they can get free help to help them quit smoking. So, at the same time, the Responsible Tobacco Retailing Act makes sure that retailers and manufacturers of products will still be readily able to sell their products to legal adult paying customers in a relevant, responsible way. There are no fees for local retailers. The fee for the inspection program, as Councilman Smith has already indicated, is fully paid for by the tobacco companies. The tobacco companies will call it a tax. It's not a tax. It's a permit. That's a permit fee, basically. So minimizing tobacco use here in Buffalo is an important goal. The city needs to be acting quickly on this. In summary, let me just say, I've examined the provisions of the law. They're sound, they're appropriate, and completely legal. I brought along about a 45-page document with evidence if you want to see the evidence to support this measure. Many of the provisions of the Act borrow from other localities like New York City, San Francisco, and Boston. The proposal that Councilman Smith has drafted also includes a savings clause, which simply means that if any part of the Act is found to be invalid or other parts or preempted in some way, then the other parts of the proposed measure would stay in effect. Unfortunately, it's likely that those friendly to the tobacco industry will oppose this proposed law. I've already heard that the tobacco industry has gone around the city to try to urge retailers to speak out against it, confusing some with the ideas that this law is a tax, just like we have the cigarette tax. I'm sure the retailers aren't happy about that, because as the tax goes up, sales go down, but that's not true. That's a lie. Let me say it again. There are no fees to local retailers. The tobacco industry will oppose this measure because it's a threat to their status quo, where they set the standards here in Buffalo and every other community for how their products are marketed at the local level. You can see from the pictures today, and some that I've included in my testimony here, that's what they consider responsible. It's completely irresponsible, as I said. Your corporate counsel is already working on arrangements to assure that the city is not faced with paying any legal costs if they have to defend the law. Many of the provisions are already in place or being litigated elsewhere. The provisions of the proposed law that are not challenged can go into effect without delay. Delay, legal scare tactics are exactly what the opponents want you to worry about. It's a smokescreen. There are no legal bases for their claims, but they wish to keep the community, other communities, and communities like Buffalo from stepping forward to do the right thing. So now it's time to act. I urge you to do so. Thank you.